See, the thing about grief and grieving is inaccurate expectation. Inaccurate expectations. We have some kind of an idea that a loved one was never going to go through any major transition like that. Loss of a body means loss of my ability to make contact with them in the ways with which I've become exclusively familiar. And now the body's not there. And somehow in my consciousness, I had formed a view that that body always would be there. And therefore the familiarity of my exclusive approach to connecting with this person's consciousness through their body, now that's gone. And I didn't expect this. If I didn't expect it, I'm shocked. And again, I deal with it through fight or flight mechanism. I want to fight the reality of it, or I want to flee from the reality of it. And one thing that we're not going to do is actually ask a very interesting question, which is, what is my loved one experiencing right now? Generally speaking, in grief, we're extremely self-centered. I'm experiencing this, I'm experiencing loss, I'm experiencing that, I'm experiencing that. But people in grief rarely ask themselves the question, what is the experience right now of my loved one? To answer this question, we need to do some reading. There are two books that I recommend. Consciousness After Life by Van Lommel, and another book written by an old colleague of mine, Deepak Chopra, called Life After Death, The Burden of Proof. Read those two books. Those two books really will enlighten you about a scientific approach to understanding what is the likelihood of what somebody's experiencing once their body drops away. Really, to speed grief, to come out of grief quickly, we need to get an understanding that we're not the only one involved in a change of experience. The person over whom we're grieving has also had a change of experience. They certainly haven't ceased to exist. There's no evidence that death is real. I've created a podcast on the subject entitled Death is Not Real. I highly recommend that you listen to that and come out of the self-indulgence of grieving. It's perfectly natural to grieve, but we need to do it speedily. We need to recover from a change of expectation as rapidly as possible, but not through simply, getting, people say, get beyond it, they're gone, there's nothing, now move on and all of that. These to me are just very facile explanations of action, most of which involve ignoring a lot. And I don't suggest that you practice ignoring. I suggest that you become a person of knowledge. And to be a person of knowledge, we need to get beyond the idea that all your loved one was to you was a body. If all they were was a body, then that body's gone. Is that what you're grieving about? Why not ask the question, what are they experiencing now? Why not become knowledgeable about that? Because they're experiencing something. To what extent might you be included in this? We can find this out in our own expanded consciousness state. If it's relevant for us to continue to be included in the experience of the loved one whose body dropped away, then we'll find ways of doing that. And we could talk about that in a time format where we have more time than this. Grieving needs to be done quick. We need to bring the grieving quickly to an end. Knowledge eliminates grief. Knowledge eliminates fear. Knowledge eliminates suffering. This is our policy.